Here's what happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. Virginia Democrats advanced a new congressional map that could significantly increase their seat advantage before the midterms. Republicans are preparing legal and political challenges as the redistricting fight escalates. California's Attorney General sued Children's Hospital Los Angeles over its plan to halt some gender-affirming care for transgender youth. The state says the move is unlawful discrimination, and the hospital says federal policy changes forced a difficult decision. A federal appeals court paused a lower court block on the administration's mandatory immigration detention policy. The ruling lets broader detention continue for now, while legal challenges move forward. President Trump proposed restoring frozen tunnel funding if Penn Station and Dulles Airport were renamed for him, according to sources. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer rejected the offer, and no deal was reached. New Jersey's special Democratic primary in the 11th District was too close to call between Anna Lilia Mejia and former Rep. Tom Malinowski. The tight result energized progressive groups ahead of the April special election. President Trump shared, then deleted, a racist video on Truth Social depicting Barack and Michelle Obama as apes. He said he did not make a mistake, and the post drew bipartisan condemnation. The Justice Department said members of Congress will get access to unredacted Epstein files starting February 9th. Lawmakers say the move will test whether prior redactions complied with federal transparency law. Here's what happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. New filings show Amazon benefited substantially from GOP tax changes as corporate tax expenses fell despite strong profits. Critics say the law favored large firms, while supporters argue it encourages investment and hiring. New polling shows support slipping for the administration's aggressive immigration tactics, especially after high-profile raids and civilian deaths. The numbers are pressuring Republicans to balance enforcement goals with concerns about oversight and force. President Trump signed a proclamation increasing low-tariff imports of Argentine lean beef trimmings by 80,000 metric tons. The White House said the move targets hamburger supply, while U.S. cattle groups criticized the decision. Border Czar Tom Homan said Minnesota immigration operations are being consolidated under ICE after friction with Border Patrol tactics. The shift follows deadly incidents and is meant to tighten command during continued enforcement. Attorney General Pam Bondi said U.S. authorities arrested a suspect accused of participating in the 2012 Benghazi attacks. Federal prosecutors filed terrorism and murder-related charges, and officials said more details will come in court. The Trump administration filed an appeal after a judge blocked DHS from ending Haiti's temporary protected status early. The legal fight keeps protections in place for now, while the case continues in federal court. An NYPD sergeant was found guilty of manslaughter for throwing a cooler that fatally struck Eric Dupre during a Bronx arrest. The judge acquitted him on a separate criminally negligent homicide count. Here's what happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. New polling suggests tougher immigration tactics are creating political backlash, including among some swing voters. The shift is pressuring Republicans to defend enforcement while addressing concerns about due process and civilian harm. A new analysis found Amazon was among the largest corporate beneficiaries of recent GOP tax cuts. Critics say the gains favored major firms, while supporters argue lower taxes boost investment and jobs. The Justice Department told Congress it will provide access to unredacted Epstein files under controlled conditions. Lawmakers said the review could clarify whether prior releases improperly withheld key investigative records. The Trump administration appealed a federal ruling that blocked DHS from ending Haiti's temporary protected status on its accelerated timeline. The appeal keeps the dispute active while current protections remain in place. A federal appeals court let the Trump administration continue broad mandatory immigration detention while litigation proceeds. The ruling pauses limits from a lower court and allows expanded custody practices in several jurisdictions. U.S. authorities arrested a suspect in the 2012 Benghazi attack, according to Attorney General Pam Bondi. Federal prosecutors filed terrorism-related charges, and officials said the case will proceed in U.S. court. President Trump renewed calls to federalize parts of election administration before the midterms and back tougher federal oversight. Voting rights groups warned the approach could invite legal challenges and suppress turnout. Sources said Trump floated restoring frozen infrastructure funds if New York Penn Station and Dulles Airport were renamed for him. Democratic leaders rejected the proposal, and no federal funding agreement was reached. A judge scheduled Luigi Mangioni's New York murder trial for June 8th in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO. He has pleaded not guilty, with separate federal proceedings expected.